Zach Glass here with video journal number 4 for PPT 113, where I'll be discussing project number 3 and my client, how I'll be going about researching and building up a presentation for that client. So I'll go ahead and start off. My client that I chose is Carolina Coin and Trading Company. I've known the owner for a few years now. I went to school with his daughter. She was a couple grades younger than me. We were in after school care together. Flash forward 10 plus years now. He's one of my regulars at the bar I work at, and he comes in at least once a week. We talk about all kinds of things, but he's very focused on his business. So essentially, what his business is, it's located on South Stratford Road in Winston-Salem, right by me, Pueblo, if you know where that is. They've been around for a long time now, actually 40 years, sorry, not 48. His handwriting's hard to read. I'm looking at some notes that he wrote down for me and gave me the other week. 40 years now. He started it himself with a friend of his. Essentially, they specialize in rare coins, antiquities. They've gotten into gold bullion and silver and platinum trading as well. They've done very well with that over the years. He's very, very successful businessman. They have a large shop that they also, it's essentially a high-end pawn shop. They don't really take junky things, but the people come, it's near the Five Points area in Winston-Salem, if you know anything about that. It's a very affluent area. So he gets all kinds of different things from people that live in that neighborhood, and all over town really, but especially that neighborhood. So he's got, if you've ever got some free time, you're looking to go find some crazy higher end trinkets, that's the place to go. You can spend all day in there just looking at things that it's like you're going into a bazaar from across the world. All these things have just funneled into Winston-Salem, into people's houses, and people inherit things. They're like, I don't want this. So they go sell it to him, but he makes the majority of his money trading gold and silver, though. But like I said, people come from all over town, and they pawn value, jewelry, gold, all kinds of stuff. And they're known, their reputation over the past 40 years has been their fairness. They've always given people great value for their items. That's how they've managed to make it this long and be this successful. They don't try to take advantage of people, and he's very proud of that. So that's how I know him. That's a little bit about his business. He was the first person that popped in my head when this project came around. I thought for sure this would be the best option for me. I already knew a little bit about his advertising because I've seen his commercials on TV. You may have seen his commercials on TV. He's got somebody that does that for WXI. Somebody there does that for him on the side. He's been very happy with them. He's been using the same or I guess it might just be WXI is contracting their cameramen and their talent out to him. But his commercials are very well done. They look very good. He just had a new one roll out earlier this year. He's in it. His daughter's in it. His wife's in it. He even offered to have me cameo in one. I told him I have no interest in that whatsoever, but I thanked him for it. So he's got that. He also uses the yellow pages, obviously, and he does. He has a few direct mail and Facebook things he does too, but he does not advertise on the radio. He's looked into it. He said once, but didn't really give it a good. Didn't really give it a chance. He didn't think much about it. He doesn't listen to the radio. He's always working. He has Sirius playing at his office, so there's no commercials. So he just doesn't play into his head very often. So that's where I'm going to be focusing my presentation, is on pushing for a radio campaign for his business. So the research I've done, he wrote out. He's a very good guy. He wrote all kinds of information out for me. He told me all about his budget. He has one of his managers is the head of his advertising and marketing side of things. He doesn't really deal with that, but he got me hooked up with him as well. I could send him an email and I'll have that back within the end of the day. So anything that I need to know, I can find out. But I got most of the information I could possibly use here. So that's where all my research went. as far as not talking to the client, the research I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go back to Heidi from Dick Broadcasting that I did my interview with and get some numbers from her, because she gave me a few numbers, but I wanted to delve deeper into the advantages of advertising on radio. The way she talked about it, and this kind of threw me a little bit because I didn't expect it, is that radio advertising is far and above, has a far greater reach than television does. And she sounded like she had the stats and the numbers to prove it. So I'm going to go reach out to her. She told me it was okay to email her for anything. So I'm going to email her and try to get more of those stats, numbers. I'm going to throw those in my presentation for him. Other than that, that's the majority of my research. Obviously, I'm going to research what the average price point would be on a station like one of Dick's stations, and if you could make it across the entire radio group, where you could just pay a set price and have your ad on all their stations, or if you had to pick and choose, or try to figure out the best plan I could show to him, or give him some options during the presentation. As far as my presentation goes, I'm gonna have a PowerPoint. I'm gonna have information about radio advertising and the advantages, and what demographics listen to what stations, and the numbers there, and how we could hit the spots that he feels like his store might be lacking in. Because we've talked about that. He mentioned to me that before he started advertising on television, he didn't have a large African American clientele at his store. But once he started advertising on television, that demographic started coming into the store way more, and his sales just went through the roof. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to find another demographic that he might be lacking in, and see how we can do the same thing for him with radio. So that's kind of where I'm going to lead off. I'm going to show what stations would be best for that. I'm going to show the visibility that would hit that demographic. I'm also going to I already have them made, but I think I'm going to make some more, because just to have something to choose from. I have a few spec spots made, different styles. I have one made for a hip hop station, I have one made for a country station, and I have one made for a classic rock station. I might make one for, some other, like a talk radio or something like that. And they're little 30-second spots, so it wouldn't take up too much time during the presentation. I think they're pretty good. We'll see what grade I get on those from Mr. Smith. And if it's not a good grade, then I'll redo those and do something else. I'm going to finish off with a comprehensive customized ad plan with multiple levels of reach and ascending budget tiers. We could have a commercial for him, every hour on certain stations, or just, once or twice a day, or, just to pick one station and just hammer that station, or just spread it out evenly across a few stations. It's going to be comprehensive, and it's going to be impressive, I feel like. And how it would be able to fit their budget. I'm going to find out how much he would be, willing in this, fictional situation to throw at a radio advertising campaign. And then I'm going to finish off with what an expected return on their advertising investments in the radio market. And I think that we'd be sitting pretty good there. And I'm going to try to throw in some sales techniques too that I've been studying as well. I'm going to come into that presentation about as prepared as I can be as far as information goes, and I'm going to try to use the ASCOP method and integrate that in there as well as much as I can. So looking good. Hopefully you can give me some more pointers based on this, if I'm leaving anything out, if there's something that I have in there that I probably shouldn't waste my time on. But I'll see you in class. Sorry this was such a long video. I'm just getting excited as we get closer to the presentation. I'll see you in class.